We have some breaking news tonight that just came to our attention this morning, one day before the election, the local and European elections tomorrow. And this is regarding a pledge that has been signed by a large number of the candidates for the European Parliament. It's a pledge to be a supporter of lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans and intersex. There's a very important clause in this pledge that I want to make you aware of tonight: to keep my work out of the public eye whenever necessary. This is incredibly serious. I want to just first of all let you know who signed this.
Well, first of all, Josiah, to make it very brief and very simple, it's a pledge to promote every type of perverted sexual activity, and to do that secretly. And that is very, very sinister, and it's very evil, I would say.
Yeah.
And that this has been hidden from the public. We are dealing here with children, with young people. We've heard a lot about migrants, we've heard a lot about agriculture, we've heard a lot about fisheries, and rightly so. But I think the most important thing for parents as they go to the polls is their children. Scripture says, "Suffer the little children to come unto me, and forbid them not." And if we train up our children in God's way, with a view to God, we won't need Maria Walsh's mental health facilities. She's at it continually. Mental health. I'm not surprised when you promote transgender ideology and every other leftist ideology. It's anti-Christian on young children. They're not able to cope with that. Their minds aren't. It's anti-Christ. And this is very, very sinister that they would vow to do this in secret. Very, very sinister.
It's a pledge essentially not to tell you when they vote on legislation in the European Parliament on things such as I said, gender self-ID with no age limit. So, you can decide to change your gender, a child, with no age limit, usually without informing the parents.
Yes.
As they do, and as this is laid out in the EU LGBTQ+ equality strategy. And I want to just list out those who have signed this. Regina Doherty in Dublin. These people haven't said anything about this.
Friend of Simon Harris.
These people have not said anything about this, about their pledge.
Simon Josiah, passionate. I will bring in the radical hate speech bill to shut you up and to deprive you of your religious rights and your religious freedom.
Maria Walsh has been championing this. I think she's talking a lot about the farmers and fisheries. I would say this is her main focus overall, and I think she would acknowledge that herself as well. And it's good to remember that.
She was one of the first to sign it.
Yes, I think she was the second out of about 1,000 people across the European Union who have signed this pledge.
This is her passion.
And finally, I would just say Luke Ming Flanagan. Luke has spoken a lot about the farming community, about the rural community, the issues that they face. I would just like to remind you that we had 2 referendums earlier this year, and we know what that was all about. It's all the same. It's about tearing out Christianity, tearing out the values that are in our constitution, discarding them, bringing in the new morality, if you like, that is represented by intersex and transgenderism and all these things into society. And those were rejected by the people. Luke Ming would want to have this question answered as to why he's supporting this kind of thing being pushed through. And the final thing I would just say is one other part of the pledge is that organizations, civil society, which is another word for quangos and for NGOs that push all of this, any attempt to restrict them or perhaps to cut their funding must be resisted. So Luke is going to resist any attempt to defund or to put the brakes on these organisations who pushed those referendums which were trounced by the Irish people. Luke has questions to answer. Maria has questions to answer. Serious questions about why this is being done behind our backs.
And of course, that's why Enoch Burke is behind bars in Mountjoy Prison here tonight. He resisted that. He resisted it being demanded of him that he affirm and endorse transgender ideology. It's anti-Christian. Enoch said no. He has every right to say no. He has a right to have and to profess and to practice his Christian beliefs. For that reason, he's in Mountjoy Prison tonight, because the courts are working with the government. Moira Whelan, sitting in the appeal court with Fine Gaeler, President of the Appeal Court, George Birmingham, all Fine Gael, put in there by Fine Gael, and Moira Whelan making it abundantly clear in her ruling against Enoch Burke that when we have an issue with transgender ideology and Christian belief, she says that transgender ideology trumps Christian belief. How dare you, Moira Whelan? You should not be sitting on that seat. It's an absolute scandal that you are sitting on that seat. This is why our politicians are silent about Enoch Burke. Every single politician, every name I would say, with the exception of few on that ballot sheet, are silent about Enoch Burke, because Enoch Burke is standing up for his religious beliefs in this country. And this is what we've discovered, this pledge, this vow of secrecy to promote and to shove it down the necks of our children, that every perversion, every sexual perversion. You need to know this as you go to the polls tomorrow.